Welcome to Inside Aesthetics, the world's leading podcast for injectors and cosmetic businesses. I'm Dr Jake Sloane, an aesthetic doctor based in Sydney, and I'm joined by my co-host and good friend David Segal, an entrepreneur and an aesthetic business mentor. Each episode of IA showcases unfiltered conversations with guests from around the world. In a sometimes disjointed industry, IA aims to help educate and connect our global community to raise the bar for both our businesses and our patients.
To further support and educate our listeners, we offer a range of additional resources under our IA Patreon subscription service. This caters for injectors and business owners of all levels and includes interactive live Zoom sessions, webinars, hints and tip videos, private chat groups, and exciting future content to come. To subscribe to IA Patreon, head to www.insideaesthetics.com/Patreon or click the link in our podcast description. You should seek medical advice before undergoing any treatment or procedure, and these podcasts do not replace a professional and bespoke consultation. Hello, Jake. How are you, buddy?
I'm all right. We've got another observer in the studio. I feel slightly vulnerable again.
Watched. Yes.
Yeah.
Slightly uncomfortable, but that's okay. Kendall's friendly.
Kendall's our new marketing and business building manager.
Yes. Basically doing all the stuff that we're not good at.
Yeah.
So thanks, Kendall. Thanks for joining us in the studio.
How's your week? What have you been up to?
I was at Taronga Zoo this morning with my nephew. That was fun.
Cute.
Yeah. Lots of consulting work, podcast stuff, life admin.
Usual shit.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like the weeks just go faster and faster every week.
100%.
So,
and actually next week, where are we going to be?
Next week, we are going to be in A23.
Yeah, Stephen News Conference.
Yes.
So that should be fun. Won't give the game away, but we'll be involved in some way.
Yeah, we will be.
Partly because as we're recording this, we still don't fully know. But no, we'll be part of something interesting.
Yeah.
So it should be fun.
That's great. It's probably one of the... There's some good conferences in Australia every year, but this is probably one of the highlights of the conferences that we have here. So anyone that's overseas that's wondering what it is, so go and check it out. A23, is it A23.com? I think that's the website. Or just
it's actually Aesthetics AU.
Aesthetics AU, and check it out. So put on by Dr. Stephen Liu, who's a very well-known plastic surgeon here in Australia that's been involved in the non-surgical space for a very long time. So this is now the third one I think he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, COVID, there was a couple of virtual ones. But yeah I mean, it's a big conference. It's grown and grown. This year it's 4 days.
Yeah.
So actually the first day is more of an engagement day, workshops and a few other sort of more interactive things. And then the more traditional conference. So we look forward to seeing you guys there.
Yeah, come and say hi. If you don't know us, don't be shy. Come and say g'day.
Yeah. And then we're going to have a IA Patron night.
We will.
We'll go out for some drinks.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what night it's going to be out of the 4 nights, but we will let you know closer to the time. So it'll be good to catch up and have a bit of social time with everyone.
We'll announce it on our WhatsApp group, so keep one evening free for us, guys. Any updates with our Patreon?
Well, we've got a current 7-day
That's
free,
true. 7 days free. So if you're listening and you're like, what the hell is this IA Patreon thing? What is it? Just briefly in 2 sentences.
2 sentences. It is a subscription service that allows people to join your community where you can put out additional content that you can share with them exclusively that they're not getting from just listening to the podcast.
Yeah. So I obviously do all the injectable stuff, so education videos, patient assessment, injecting technique, maybe even some product stuff in there. David does all the business stuff, so hints and tips, finance, videos with his mentees and so on. So there's a whole ton of stuff there. We can't explain it all in a sentence.
And it works out less than, well, if you do want to stay on after the 7-day free trial, it works out at less than a cup of coffee a day, like $1.50 Australian.
Something like that, yeah.
So, exciting stuff. So if you'd like to take advantage of that, we would love to see you there.
100%.
So what are we talking about today?
Let's be honest, you weren't too keen for this one, but I think it's interesting. Let's see where it goes.
Okay.
This may be a short one, who knows? But you guys probably have heard about this new app called Threads by Instagram. You've heard of it?
Is it Meta, isn't it? So Meta is the overarching company.
I think the actual app is called Threads by Instagram. Okay. It's interesting.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. It's made by Meta.
Yep.
And I know that you're not Mr. Social Media in any way, shape or form, but what have you heard about it?
I've heard it's a platform that's going to usurp Twitter or be an alternative to Twitter.
Yeah.
And I guess the advantage of it was that because you've got Meta, which has already got an ecosystem of Facebook and Instagram, that this would just be an easy way where all these apps talk to each other and you can sort of exist in as you said, like an ecosystem. So that's what I've heard. I was looking at an article today saying that, well, maybe let's pedal back a couple of steps. So it was announced there was a huge amount. I think it broke like every record in terms of how quickly,
quicker than ChatGTP.
Yeah, joined a new network or a new service. It was like in the tens of millions within a few days.
Yeah,
but from reports that are coming through at the moment, it looks like it's not doing what people thought it would do. So, like, users down by 50% or interactions down by 50%. So I don't know. We live in a world now where everything happens quickly. You sort of can be successful really quickly and you can die really quickly. So it's hard to really know where it's going to land. But you're a lot more fluent and all over social media. So I guess this is it's a business related topic. It's being led by you. So
I know, hey, it's a weird one.
Maybe next week I'm talking about Botox or something. So,
so I wanted to talk about it because it has been in the news. We're all, as businesses and injectors on Instagram, they're, as you said, they're dovetailing into each other as apps.
Yeah.
So how do we or do we not use this thing? Should we use it? I don't know. I think a bit like what you said, everyone's a bit confused or don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard of Threads and you don't even know what Twitter is, it's basically a text-based social media app, for want of a better word. So it's just writing. You can actually add photos and videos, but in its basic form, it's just text. So in some ways, and I sort of joke about how you don't like engaging with Instagram and stuff, it's actually really easy.
Yeah.
You write something and people can interact with you.
Yeah.
And so I guess the question is, well, if you're not on Twitter, and I've got an account, I think, but I haven't used it in like 10 years. If you're not on Twitter, why would you be on Threads is really one of the questions. And so, traditionally, and you'd know more than me because you follow high-profile people like Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, all these people. Twitter, as far as I understand it, it's almost like a public notice board.
Public square, they're calling it.
Yeah. Like if you got Donald Trump and you want to tell people that you're out of hospital or you're going to court or whatever you're doing.
I've been indicted for the 13th time today.
Whatever. Most of the celebrities and big news agencies and they'll put stuff on Twitter, and it's almost like that's the go-to for the latest update.
Yeah.
So in that way, it's really powerful. But does that translate to our clinics and injectors? We'll sort of come into that. But so Elon Musk obviously has taken over Twitter, and then Mark Zuckerberg, who's sort of the owner of Meta, I guess he's taken them on.
Yeah,
it's like a fight.
Yeah, well, hey, there's a fight happening apparently. So if anyone hasn't heard, apparently Elon Musk is going to hop into the ring and have a fight with Zuckerberg. And I think Elon's got George St. Pierre training him, and it's like they seems to be taking it pretty seriously. So
you don't want to go in there like a schmuck, do you?
No, but Zuck looks like he can kick some butt. I saw some video footage of him the other day, so we'll see what happens. We're living in a crazy world. We've got mega billionaires fighting each other in the cage. We've got a new social media platform the other day.
Yeah.
Wars going on all over the place. It's like... it's a crazy... By the way, we should be getting sponsored. Is Zuck
give us some cash.
Sponsoring us for this episode? Because I feel like you're about to give them a massive plug on their downward spiral.
Yeah. Biggest Patreon ever. Why I think it's a bit interesting, this is why we're talking about this, is you're probably thinking, where the hell's this going?
Yeah.
Is how can an injector maybe leverage this? And I think the kicker is it's not a new app in the sense that it's not like... I think there's another one called Blue Star or something, which is like a rival of Twitter, but they've got not many users.
Right.
Whereas Threads, obviously, you sign up via your Instagram and immediately they jump to like 100 million users in like a week or something ridiculous.
Crazy.
And so that in itself, I mean, I know you said Threads is dead at the moment, but I think it's just too new to know. I'm sort of sitting here trying to talk like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't really know, having played, exactly how best to use it. But I do think there's an angle where, as a business, you could have some presence there. But the mistake would be to try and replicate what you're doing on Instagram and Threads, because it's not. It's different.
Yeah. Well, if you played around with it, I mean, okay.
So I mean, I think my first comment was something stupid like who wants some fillers?
Right.
Something stupid, right. Just to how do I put this? What do you put on Threads or indeed Twitter? You put a comment that leads to a conversation or leads to someone challenging you or a debate or something funny or thought-provoking or a quote.
Is Jake an asshole?
Meh. Well, exactly. Maybe I'll do that one. But what I'm saying is you're not going to go up there and put a before and after up, for example. It's not really that sort of thing. And so I have seen some injectors basically just mirroring their Instagram content in there. And I'm like, it's a bit weird. It doesn't make sense because if they wanted that, they'd just go to Instagram. Yeah. Because they're intimately linked. You can just hop around from one app to the other. So the way I would explain it, and I guess this is where Twitter originally was actually quite popular, is you get a little bit more of an intimate insight into that person or that business. You know, Kanye West or whoever's commenting or talking. It's different, isn't it?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I think we should get you on there.
You can barely get me to use Instagram.
That is true.
I don't like the chances. So why would you choose one or the other? I mean, do you see it as you would choose Twitter over Threads? I mean, are people being asked to make a choice, or is it just a matter of you want to be everywhere?
I think the issue is that the people who do or did use Twitter regularly are not very happy with the app. You know, it's gone through numerous handovers and who owns it, and they've tried all this stuff with verified users, and now they're currently, I think, limiting how many tweets you can do a day, and it just sort of has pissed off their user, basically. And then you get this other thing that currently isn't throttled, isn't controlled. It's so easy to join. You just sort of click a button from your Instagram and suddenly you're in. So it's the ease of use that is almost the killer function, and signing up, not having to learn a new app, rather than is it so different.
Is it censored?
No. Well, not at the moment.
Okay. Interesting. Because I know that was kind of part of the debacle with Twitter, and the Twitter files that came out was, you know, all these sort of things that were discovered around, you know, governments intervening and telling social media companies what they can and can't say to people. And I know that's kind of where Elon Musk came from when he purchased
that was his goal, right?
As a platform, was to make it an open conversation where people might be able to say things that could be deemed as offensive or hate speech or whatever it is. And I guess his perspective was, well, you know, just by shutting people down doesn't make the problem go away. And the way to combat bad speech is to come back at it with more good speech, or to be able to have conversations, because just siloing people into their respective camps actually almost creates like a silent resentment, and people are in echo chambers where they're just hearing opinions of people who already agree with them. So I think that's where he was coming from, and that's what initially sparked all the upheaval with him wanting to buy it and what he wanted to do for free speech. And then so it's been interesting seeing Mark Zuckerberg, or Meta, now create another platform to rival Twitter. It's almost like we've just got battles going on everywhere, like physically, metaphorically, like in the, it's just, it's an interesting time. It's an interesting time to be alive.
Yeah. And I mean, with my little dabble with Threads so far, the kind of refreshing thing is, well, one, there doesn't appear to be any sort of algorithm. There's no bots on there. There's no advertising on there. It's just simple, clean people, you know, writing a comment or a statement or a funny, you know, quirk, whatever. And it just feels like a clean version of Instagram, but different. It's sort of, it just feels like a fresh start.
So I guess the question from my perspective would be, if what we do is a visual art form, and I consider cosmetic injectables a visual art form, how does this translate to something that's visual when this is text-based? I mean, come and see me. I'm really good, I promise. I mean, like, how does that work?
Think of it not as advertising or marketing, but connecting deeper. So I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say you've already done your before and afters and all that kind of sexy stuff on Instagram, but then you've got some followers who are also following you on your threads. Then you might, a bit like how you'd use an Instagram story where they get a little bit of an insight into your day-to-day life, but this is more text-based. So it might be an insight into your thoughts, not what you're doing. So, for example, there was a big controversy about, I don't know, a VO last week. What do you guys think? Or, hey, exosomes, what do you guys... How do you best use them?
So would you be targeting more the consumer or your colleagues?
anyone who's following you.
Right,
So,
okay.
you might have a patient jump in who's had exosomes in America and go,
Right.
I actually had an awesome experience. And then the threads kick off because other patients jump in and,
Right.
A clinic who had a bad experience might jump in. But it's more of a conversation than a marketing tool. That's how I would describe threads.
Okay.
So, it's not the same.
Okay.
And I guess in a way it becomes more personal, more intimate.
Okay. So how did your first post of, hey, who wants fillers go? So maybe take us on that journey. Where's that landed?
Okay, so I think I've got about 1,000 followers on there now. I don't know. It's just, as people have joined threads, follow each other.
Right. Okay.
So I don't have my 18,000 Instagram followers on threads yet.
Right.
And because of the way, I don't know if the algorithm is working or not, right now in the feed, which is like the homepage of threads, it seems a bit random. You can see some of your followers' stuff as well as completely random people's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't think that connectivity of linking up your followers and getting those threads perfect is there yet. It's just too early. It's only been out 2 weeks.
Yep.
So, that article that you sort of referenced about threads is dead. It's a bit.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll bring up the
unfair,
article.
I think.
And so basically, what it said was that it's getting to it here. So, ARK Investment Management came to an analysis. Firm claimed that the usage of the Twitter killer thread app has fallen by half since its launch by Mark Zuckerberg's Meta.
But think about it.
So AKR is obviously the company that's done this assessment.
Yeah, it's like a research kind of company.
Yeah, okay.
But think about it logically. You get 100 million joining up because they just press a button on their Instagram and suddenly they're on threads.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily know what it's all about. They've probably not had a play yet. But that number has, 100 million, then suddenly you're saying only 47% are engaging.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they haven't even had a chance to play it. It doesn't mean they don't like it.
Yeah.
It's just too soon. I think you'd know in 6 months whether it's flopped or not.
Yeah, okay.
But because it grew so quickly, it's easy to get crazy figures like engagement is down by 47%. Well, sure.
Yeah. I feel like Kendall needs to join this conversation, and I don't know why. I feel like I need to get a microphone from the cupboard and just throw it to her and see what she has to, because she's the marketing genius. I have no idea. Well, should we do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Give me a second. All right. Because I'm running out of shit to ask you. Hold on a second.
Hold on, guys. We're going to get another mic.
Do you want to give us a sound check, Kendall?
Check.
Hold on. Try now.
Check.
There you go.
Yeah,
We're
got
back.
you.
Okay. Kendall is in the building. I thought it'd be good for you to join the conversation.
Well,
Hi,
introduce
everyone.
Do you want to
yourself
introduce
first.
yourself a little bit first?
Yeah, sure. I feel very special to be featured on the podcast.
There you go.
My name is Kendall and I have a business called Aesthetics Marketing Group. So really supporting aesthetic business owners grow their business through marketing. I'm also the marketing manager and business manager for Inside Aesthetics.
Woohoo.
Woohoo.
And
Newly
where were you
appointed.
before? Because we met through Mertz. So you approached me to come and do a presentation for the nurse academy that Mertz did. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So my background, I was at Mertz Aesthetics as a product manager and digital marketing manager. And then prior to that, I was actually brand and marketing manager of Artisan Aesthetic Clinics.
There you go.
So I've come from clinics as well as pharmaceutical and now specializing in marketing in the aesthetics industry
And podcasts.
and podcasts.
Podcast. So what do you think? You've been sitting on the sidelines listening to this conversation. What are your thoughts on it? Because this is your area of expertise.
I do agree with Jake that is too early to tell yet whether Threads is going to be a success or a flop. I do think that everybody should explore it and give it a go, whether that's just creating an account to see what's on there and what people are talking about. I do also see that in your 50% drop, I noticed that I've got a Threads account and I think the engagement is down, but maybe that's because people don't really know how to use it yet.
Correct.
What are you meant to post on Threads? And I think my piece of advice would be, if you're a business owner, have a clear plan of how you actually want to use the platform. How does that fit into your marketing mix? Because if you're trying to split your time between Instagram, EDMs for your clinic, creating content, also injecting, is Threads a platform that you really want to jump on straight away? Or is it something that maybe should sit on the sideline for a bit?
Well, it's the same question about even, I know TikTok's obviously different again, but there are people who don't have a TikTok account yet. And they're like, well, should I be on there as well? It's just another platform, isn't it? But this is quite niche and specific. It's text, really.
Yeah, and I think the question I'd ask the business owner or HCPs is, where are your patients?
Yeah.
And what does your patient demographic look like? If they're on TikTok, sure, be on TikTok. But if majority of them are sitting maybe on Facebook or Instagram, that's really where you should be spending your time.
Yeah.
So that's why I also think Threads is a little bit too early to have a game plan yet.
Yeah.
We've just got to wait and see, because are your patients, are they sitting there yet?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Exactly. And like I was trying to say, like, even though you're not marketing or maybe even advertising through Threads, it's sort of like a different channel. It's like value add to your brand, but it's not necessarily the core of it.
It is very personal.
Yeah.
So we did notice when Threads launched, a few of the big businesses, even fashion brands, just picked up everything they were doing on Instagram and popped it straight on Threads. And they got a lot of hate very quickly.
Yeah.
People on Threads don't want to see curated, perfect campaign content. And as to your point, they don't want to necessarily see before and afters.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of feedback, but hey, that's not what this platform's all about. So maybe you're showing a personal side of you, and maybe you're not actually featuring your brand on there per se. And it's actually a place where, maybe your patients connect with you as an injector, not necessarily your business.
Right. Question though, you said something around for HCPs, which is an acronym for healthcare professionals, anyone that doesn't know, but I'm sure they do. How do you know where your patients are? Is it an age group thing? Do you ask them? Is it about finding out how people found you or about your business when they come in? How do you, as someone that wants to get a better handle on where their patients are coming from, how do you work out which platform is going to be best for your business?
So my best piece of advice would be, when you get new patients and they complete their new patient form, you need to ask that question.
Right.
And I can already tell you now, a lot of them will probably say family and friends, because that is the absolute biggest referrer for your business, will be family and friends. But if they do say, and I've also seen you on Instagram, then a lot of them are coming from that platform.
Yeah.
I think anybody that does have a business Instagram account will also be able to tell you how their content is working, and if they're getting a lot of DMs, that they're getting a lot of engagement on certain posts, and those people that are coming through that channel or inquiring, whether that's sending them a DM or booking through the app, that will sort of gauge what age group and demographic and gender that sit on that platform.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel that the family and friend referrals and the organic stuff that just comes through from giving people good service and providing an experience that makes you a compelling service provider, do you think that the social media platforms are more there to reinforce the message and to validate you, or do you think that it's the other way around?
I definitely think that the social media platforms are there as what I like to think of as a portfolio showcase.
Right.
So I wouldn't necessarily try to sell, but I try to showcase your skill and what your clinic's all about and the customer or the client experience. Whereas where you can be quite successful is creating a referral program because of that word of mouth. So incentivizing that referral, rather than having an offer on your Instagram, you're going to find if you have a referral program, it's going to be a lot more successful than an offer.
It's almost, I think a lot of injectors lean too far on basically their Instagram as everything. And Rick, when we had Rick on, he sort of said, your social media is just social media and your marketing is different. But I think a lot of people have sort of blended them as one, and they don't even know what they're doing anymore. They're sort of trying to be a jack of all trades on one platform, and some of them won't even work at their website because they're trying to work on their Instagram. Whereas I feel like they're two separate things. Yeah. Because you can leverage the SEO and all the digital marketing stuff through mainly your website, your Google My Business stuff. Whereas your Instagram, like Kendall said, is more like a tease, a showcase, a look inside your clinic, or who am I? But it's not really traditional marketing in its traditional sense. It's different, right?
Yeah, very different. I mean, it's part of the ecosystem and it all links together. But really, if you're looking at traditional marketing, that would be sitting down and saying, okay, what are our seasonal promotions or campaigns or themes or messages that we're looking at this quarter? And then how we communicate that is through Instagram. Yeah. So the marketing concept or the offer or the promotion itself is built in-house inside your clinic. Yeah. And then Instagram is used as an avenue to communicate that.
Yeah. I'm going to give you an insight into just I found this thread really funny. So this is Aldi UK. You know Aldi, the supermarket?
Yeah.
So this is kind of where I think Threads is going, and everyone will know that Twitter does get a little bit more witty, a bit more intelligent, I think. Anyway, the first thread was, your favorite supermarket is here to bring chaos to a whole new app.
Right.
Like, for a supermarket major brand to talk in that language, I think is quite fun. Whereas you wouldn't see that, say, on their website, for example, or in a formal advert.
I would be careful though, because Aldi's cheeky in their branding anyway. So it's very aligned what they've just posted on Threads. That is their brand personality. But you can't be someone who is Dior and trying to be humorous on Threads.
Well, classic example that their third thread was, the beef between Threads and Twitter is reminding us of something.
Yeah.
Basically, they're copycats, right? So it's kind of funny, but you can't really get away with that on a different platform, say with your face of like, you wouldn't have the CEO with that above his face saying that. But as a tweet or a thread that's just text, it feels better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd be thinking, where am I going to find time for another app? That's the challenge. I mean, because it's sort of like,
but the key, well, I mean, these are obviously thought about, but if it was you, sort of personal threads, the beauty is you don't have to curate anything because you're not on a camera. Nothing has to look good. It's just a thought out of your brain. If no one engages, so what? Whereas I feel like on Instagram, if you spend an hour curating a post and you get like crickets, it feels more crushing. It's like, fuck, I've wasted all this time and I'm not working it anymore. Whereas if you've just done, a cheeky little comment like that and nothing happens, it doesn't feel like you've wasted your time. I don't know. I just think it's different. It's a different feel.
Yeah. I think I'd also like to ask both of you, do you take in information visually or do you prefer text? Because that's something else from a marketing perspective I find quite interesting. I'm a visual person. I actually like seeing the imagery. And when I open Threads, I think, oh gosh, I've got to read all these, and I close it again.
Mr. Attention Deficit.
If Jake sends me any more than a paragraph's worth of text, he knows that I'm just going to glaze over and not read it.
I still do it though. I can't.
I'm very visual.
Yeah.
So I'm the same way. Like if I see mountains of text, like it gives me a headache, and my ADD just says go and do something else, and that's so. I think different strokes for different folks. Maybe
I guess it hasn't bothered me either. I've not seen anyone do a long thread or anything that's like.
Does it have the same sort of character limitation?
500. So Twitter's I think 280.
Right.
Unless you're verified, where you can do 10,000.
Right.
But
okay.
I don't think many people do that. But Threads is 500. So again, I guess there's a bit more to say if you want to, but not many people, from what I've seen, are doing that. It's just like a little cheeky comment here and there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But then I'm not entirely sure how this fits into business. I mean, like your average injector out there sitting listening to this going, what the fuck is all this about? I would still be concentrating on your visuals, on your classic before and afters and brand messaging through Instagram and all the normal channels. And then kind of, I would at least sign up for an account on Threads because it's so easy. Just press a button on Instagram and you're basically in. Even if it's just to secure your business name on Threads, because you might not use it now, but you might realize in a year that's the killer social app that you've got to be on. But if someone's taken your name or a similar name and you're kind of having to do Dr. Jake Sloane 99, it just, you want your name, right? So just, it's so easy. Just sign up and work out how you use it later. That would be my advice.
Yeah, definitely have it. And be able to explore. I think what will also be interesting is to see the new features that will be released, hopefully soon, to keep the engagement high.
Yeah.
But maybe that will bring more people to the app and give us more accessibility, a little bit more freedom. And I think there's no rules at the moment. So everyone looks at this app like, how do we use this? What do we do with it? So maybe as more and more features come out, it will be a little bit more fine-tuned and people understand, okay, this is how we're going to use this platform. Because I'm pretty sure you also can't edit your threads.
No.
So once they're there, they're there.
That'd
so
be
you
terrible
really,
for me.
as much as it's not curated, you don't want to have a spelling mistake in your thread.
Yeah, but I think that's a good thing because obviously people are going to be responding to that thread, and if you change it, it kind of loses its meaning.
Yeah. I'm loving the new edit feature on WhatsApp because I can go and correct all my spelling mistakes. and grammatical errors because I just type and I'm so bad. I always make mistakes and I go back and go, I spelled that wrong.
I only realised that about 3 weeks ago and it's changed my life.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
So if you don't know what we're talking about, if you post something on WhatsApp and you realise there's, like me, a million spelling mistakes, just hold down on it and it gives you those options. Just click edit and you can change it.
Yeah.
It's a killer function.
So what are the features do we have any idea what the features are coming with Threads? Have they given you any teasers?
Well, actually, one of the things that is missing, which you could argue is a pro or a con, which Twitter does have, is you can't message people.
Ah.
You can't actually connect with someone unless, of course, you leave them a comment or a thread, as they call it.
Right.
So that's sort of, in a way, feels a bit paralyzing. You want to engage with a particular person who says something, you kind of can't. Having said that, they have to be an Instagram user to be a thread user. Therefore, you could probably just go back to Instagram and do it that way.
Just hunt them down.
Yeah. Because it's the same username. So I guess they probably would not introduce that. But yeah, I don't know what they would add in because, you don't want to create what is already existing.
Yeah.
You don't want to create just a mirror of Instagram or something else. If you're wondering how to sign up, it's super easy. I mean, I don't know if you saw it on your Instagram. I had a new thing pop up on my bio, and it basically said, Threads, do you want to sign up? Or I can't remember what it actually said, but it was very obvious.
Yeah.
You just click on it. It takes you through to the app. It plugs in your Instagram bio as a thread bio. So you basically don't have to do anything. And then it asks you if you want your current followers from Instagram to also follow in Threads, so you can choose yes or no.
Right.
So it takes 3 seconds. It was super easy. And if you don't see that option, just go to the App Store and just download Threads. So it's pretty easy. You just check it out.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we've got our marketing guru here. Should we do it for the podcast?
Maybe.
I'm trying
I'd
to think.
love to explore, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with the broadcast channel on Instagram as well. I think that's a really great feature that maybe we should explore for Inside Aesthetics.
Oh, I'll let you into a secret. I tried. I couldn't find the function. I've got it on my personal account, but maybe you know how to do it. But what is a broadcast channel? Tell people.
It's basically a chat function, almost a little bit similar to Threads, but probably less engagement. So if you follow a creator or somebody that you really enjoy their content, they can have exclusive content or messages to their broadcast channel, which is like a private chat group. That's the best way to describe it.
Well, yes, apart from people can't write back to you.
Yeah.
So it's basically an announcement board for a creator. So, for example, I've thrown out a few polls to, mainly injectors who are following, and you just get a litmus test of what they like or what they don't like. But they can't reply back in text. They can just like it or not like it.
I do find it interesting, though, because you do get notifications and it is very community focused. You feel that you are part of a community. So you might miss somebody's Instagram story because you don't have notifications turned on.
Yeah.
But when you're part of a broadcast channel, that notification does turn on automatically. So you do get notified.
It's like did you ever watch Thundercats?
Yeah, of course.
It's like when the Thundercat thing goes up in the sky and everyone can see it and everyone gets notified of your message.
Yes.
But the bat signal.
Yeah, exactly. But Thundercats.
Yeah, right.
So, it's a useful function for creators, but you don't want to be using it too much or you piss people off.
Yeah.
Because they're just constantly getting notifications that they can't really interact with too much.
I think if you're a clinic, you could use it for unique offers that maybe you don't want to promote through your whole Instagram audience.
Yeah.
Your broadcast channel might be your VIPs, or it could be a really engaged group of patients.
Yeah.
And it could be a good way to communicate with them.
Well, what would be a killer function that if we can get it up and running for the podcast, would be to just put our links of our latest episodes. Because I've lost count of how many times people say to us things like, you should get so-and-so. And we're like, well, we already did it. And they just don't know because, not people don't follow it every week like, some of our super fans. But it might be an easier way to just tell everyone, like, it's out. And then they don't have to sort of hunt around podcast apps. It's just there.
I think our only super fan is my mum. Maybe your mum too.
We've got some pretty engaged fans. I'm going to call them a super fan.
Maybe we could create our broadcast channel with some exclusive offers.
There we go.
For our super fans.
Maybe we could drop in some of our...
What do you think?
No, I don't think my wife would like that. But what we could do is maybe we've got some interesting discount code sort of affiliations with various people coming up. that could be something where we could put that.
Yeah.
So watch this space, guys.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And then I guess, if you haven't been on Threads, let's just talk about what it looks like. It basically looks a little bit like Instagram. So you have like a feed. There's some options at the bottom where rather than doing a tweet, you do a thread. And then once you're in your bio, it just gives you some options of looking at your followers, looking at your threads. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So I reckon we should all sign up and have a play.
Do you have like a photo of yourself or your brand, or how does anyone identify other than just the name?
Same as Instagram, just like a little thing at the top, and if you click and it expands and gets a bit bigger.
Okay.
So I reckon we should have an Inside Aesthetics one. Let's set it up.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what kind of content would you put up there? So so from an injector, so you said anyone want fillers? I mean, what other stuff? I mean, I get
that was just a joke.
Yeah.
It's trying to see who he was there. Because I think at the time I had like 3 followers or something stupid.
Did anyone reply?
I had I think Stephen Land, shout out to Stephen, one of our patrons, but a few people.
Right.
Like I might have done 4 threads in 2.5 weeks and I've had pathetic engagement. Let's just be real. But I think for like some of a bit like with Twitter, some of the agencies and newspapers and journalists and celebrities, big engagement. They're trying to replicate what they're doing on Twitter, but on Threads.
Yeah.
And it will just grow. It'll become more organic as people work out not just how to use it, but also be more comfortable engaging. I think one of the problems with Instagram is that we're swipers.
Yeah.
We just like to look, but not really give a shit. We're too lazy to engage and write a comment and give someone some feedback or love or a like. Whereas with Threads, yes, you can like, but it's more about the comment that is the interaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to encourage people to hopefully talk rather than just swipe. So yeah.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Time will tell. So we're going to have to do like a Threads update in 3 months, see if it's still around.
There we go. I'm predicting it will, it's not going to kill anything, but I think it will be bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't know whether Twitter will die because, like some of these big accounts, they would be stupid to leave when they've got such a big following on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And if Elon does put some money behind some new features and make it less annoying for whatever is annoying, you'll stay. Of course you will. People don't like change.
What do you think, Kendall? Do you reckon it's going to stand the test of time, or do you think it's going to crash and burn?
I don't think crash and burn, but I think they'll need to release some new features pretty soon to keep people engaged on the platform.
Right.
I think it'll be interesting to see how things like paid ads are integrated into Threads. Will everybody stick around? Will they drop off? And how will Threads be able to be compatible with things like other platforms like WordPress, Squarespace, websites? Are you going to be able to get data from Threads and know that they've come from your thread and then booked an appointment? So I think they're going to need to tweak some of their features before it gets my vote.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
I think you've got to be optimistic, right? And I think it's great. It's a new social media platform and, there's first mover advantage. So you should be on there and having a look around. But don't feel like you need to create a big presence there yet.
100%. This might have felt like a weird podcast because it's a shorter one. We've introduced Kendall. We weren't actually planning on doing this, but
you know what I'm like.
We were here having a team meeting and we're like, fuck it, let's go in the studio and talk about something.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much unplanned. But whilst you're here, Kendall, if we've got people listening either thinking, hey, I want to be a guest on IA, or I actually want to be a corporate partner, how would they engage with us and how do they connect to you?
So they can jump on the Inside Aesthetics website. They can send us a DM on Instagram and then we can take it from there.
Awesome. So if you're sat there thinking, I've always wanted to do a business of injecting podcast or injector diaries, or you've invented a new filler or whatever, get in touch with Kendall. We'd love to have you on.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah. All right, well, let's wrap this up. But, let's see where we go with Threads. So I want to see an IA account soon. We'll all have a play and we'll report back on our next podcast.
We'll see where it lands.
All right, guys. Take care.
See you, bye.
Bye.
For our latest news, follow us on Instagram at Inside Aesthetics Podcast. If you want to get in touch with myself or David, follow us on Instagram as well at Dr Jake Sloane and David_Inside Aesthetics.
Join our IA Patreon platform for invaluable business and injectable education. Get access to our global community of like-minded professionals, live and interactive Zoom sessions, hints and tip videos, webinars, and more. Head over to www.insideaesthetics.com/Patreon for more information.